Hey, what's going on? This is Tim with Guard Digital Marketing. So I got that video coming to you as promised. It should have a few simple tips and tricks in it just to, kind of you guys can implement to help improve your online presence as a company. So I have the homepage of the website pulled up here, as you can see. I always like to go ahead and start out on a Google page so we can start looking at, how these are laid out and how crucial to be on different pages or different sections of this page just are, okay? Now, let's say I lived in Springfield, Missouri, and I needed to get some roofing done from one of the companies within there, right? I want to stay local, okay? So I would type in something very similar to this. This is what we would consider a buyer intent keyword. So roofing Columbia or roofing Springfield, Missouri, sorry, would definitely be something or a variation of this that I would type into Google to find the company to do those services for me within the area, okay? Now, first thing we're going to see is a set of ads. So we have the Google guarantees right up top, right up front, getting all the exposure because Google has trusted and verified these companies, and these are the ones paying to be right up front here. Okay. We also have a normal Google ad. Unfortunately, these don't convert as highly as as these aren't always optimized correctly to be bringing in or placing these correctly within Google. Okay. So if you were ever wanting to go in the ads route, I would definitely stick to these Google guaranteed ads. Now, next under the ads, we're going to see the Google Map Pack. Crucial to be within the Google Map Pack because 30 to even 50% of your entire traffic online will come from in here. Okay, so again, it is very crucial. So you need to make sure your Google business profile is completely optimized out. You're starting to get the reviews and the ratings in. You have pictures on there that are geolocated to Springfield, so on and so forth. Okay. And then, of course, once Google recognizes this within your profile, they will start ranking you within here because you don't, of course, you can come in here and, kind of do some research on these guys because you can't just match their numbers. You're going to have to beat their numbers to be able to start outranking these guys within here. So it just obviously takes some time and effort, right? But overall, the return on that investment, of course, would be of a higher quality, right? Now, once you get past the map pack and the ads, we're getting into the organic listings. So we will see some directories, of course, when it comes to roofing. We have Yelp, Angie, Better Business Bureau expertise, and so on and so forth. Now, on this page, we do have quite a few actual companies listed here. And A1 is the one I've pulled up here as the ranked number one for this keyword, position-wise. And we can do a little comparison within a program that I have, okay, of the website itself. Now, have the homepage of your website here pulled up. If we do a quick little run through, I always like to look at the homepage for a key reason. Google has a sweet spot on a homepage layout and optimization wise. So Google likes to see 1,500 to 2,000 words of content on a homepage alone. And as you can see, scrolling up and down here, we're not hitting that necessarily. So we definitely need more content on the homepage. And then when it comes to that content, within it, every 150 to 200 words, we want to have one of those buyer intent keywords, like I typed into Google. So Google knows what you're trying to rank for because they can't just come in here and see it like I am with my own eyes and know what type of services you guys provide because they have to read it and decipher it. Okay, so you want to make sure the content is laid out correctly to Google's liking so they know what you guys do. Okay. Now, I went ahead and I threw your guys' URL website here into this paid program called Eris. It gives me a quick overview of the website kind of rankings and health within Google. And then I can even dive into certain numbers deeper. But as we can see here, not a whole lot going on right off the rip. So DR and UR is a rating that Google gives for the actual domain itself, so the entire website, and then the URL that I would type in here, which would be your homepage. Now, as you can see, we don't have really anything to go off of here that I can really tell you much about. So let's go ahead and look at the top competitor real quick, okay, and see where they're at and see what they're doing. Now, I've looked at these guys quite a few times doing some comparisons and things like this in Springfield. Now, the thing about them is their page here is not optimized either. So it's not like they would be super hard to outrank when it comes to roofing, okay? And taking their number one spot from them. The only thing that's going to make it harder is because they're already ranked within here. Okay, so if you can beat them here and here, you're going to take all their traffic coming to their website. Okay, now I threw them into this same program, and we can see where they're located at here, right? Okay, so their DR and UR ratings, now these are out of 100, but they're all not necessarily bad, because a UR rating and DR rating of 30 to 40 is actually super nice. It's going to be higher than 90 to 95% of the other websites out there on the internet. So once you start getting into there, Google trusts you a lot. Okay. So again, this is for their entire website, and then for the page, which happens to be their homepage here. They're building trust, obviously, through these backlinks and referring domains to their website. So other websites are referring, your website through them, which builds trust within Google, because Google sees that other websites trust you as well. Okay. Now you need to make sure the ones you're building out are of a higher quality, so that Google actually trusts you at a higher rate when it comes down to it. Because if any old generic website is referring to you, Google isn't really going to see that as much of a always a good thing. And sometimes these are even spammy, which means they kind of have the opposite effect. So you do make sure they are of a high quality and are actually somewhat relevant to the niche that you're in, being roofing and remodeling, right? Now, you got to have those buyer intent keywords within your website too, so you can actually rank within Google. So as you can see, A1 here has 184 keywords within their website that they're ranking for. Now you can see with even these kind of lower numbers that we're seeing here, the amount of traffic that you can pull into the website, right? About 450 people a month. Now, as you can tell, that doesn't always seem like a lot, but when you break it down, let's say, let's say even 50% of these people aren't coming in. They're just looking in the website, looking for some information, not necessarily looking for services. Okay, so let's say 400, right? At that point. Now, most roofing companies, I would say, close, at a rate of about 20%. But let's just stay on the low side and say 10% of the people that call in for services, you'll actually be able to land as a customer, a paying customer. That's 40 extra jobs a month, which for a roofing company is really nice, because I know the average job cost, especially when you're talking about replacements, can be fairly nice, right? Depending on where you're at, a residential more area like Springfield, probably within that $12,000 to $15,000 range is what I'm thinking it still is. So as you can tell, the revenue would be fairly nice, and you could even start picking and choosing which type of jobs you want to make sure the profit margin is where you want it at as well, right? So that's the type of traffic and potential of growth within a company you're missing out on if your guys' presence online is not correct and where it needs to be. Okay. And even as you can tell, their numbers aren't even that super high when it comes down to it. They could be ranking for a lot more different keywords, and even within the different areas around Springfield, so on and so forth, to be bringing in traffic of somewhere in 1,000 range per month. So I think for the sake of video, this does it. Definitely some tips and tricks in here you guys can implement to start boosting and building that online traffic that you guys so desire, to start scaling the business and growing, right? So if it's not too crazy for me to ask, I would love some feedback, as it helps me grow as well. So you can do that, whether it be a phone call, email, or text. And then, of course, if you have questions too, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available for the most part, normal business hours. Now, I do appreciate you taking some of the day or some of the time out of your busy day here to watch the video. And again, I do hope you learned something from it. So have a good rest of your day. Thanks.